to the stream. Good to see you. Someone's on already. Nice, nice. Who is that? Is that Mr. Mears? Is it Mr. Mears? Who is that? Who's watching already? I appreciate whoever it is jumping on before me. I mean, I'm normally late anyway. Today I'm actually early because I was late yesterday. Cool, we're on. Lovely jubbly. Lovely jubbly. Right. Let's get him. Yesterday was weird. Even talking to the Dean lot, they said it's weird. I mean, we did catch something yesterday. If you did cut off our stream early yesterday, we actually caught this at the end where as soon as this 4 hour closed, what did we catch? This here. So we took a buy here. We were just about to call it, and then the Ford closed respecting. And I said, well, the Ford's going to have to come back to at least 234. No, it wasn't. It was at least 2344. But there was a minor resistance here. So if I go on to the 5, there was a minor resistance here. So we took partial there. We got in, came up, grabbed 10 pips, got stopped at break even, and then look what happened with price, guys. Straight up, straight through. You could have bagged 38 pips on that, and that was like the last part of the stream. But it doesn't matter, you know, we've got 10 pips. 10 pips is all we need, isn't it? So I want to go straight into a top down because we've got some really nice volume. Look at price moving all over at the moment, which is good. What time are we on? People are going to be late, aren't they? Because they're going to think I'm late. Not used to me being on early. So, top down. Now, what's interesting to see is the monthly hasn't flipped. So we haven't flipped on the monthly. So what does that tell you? We've only got 2 days, is it? Sorry, one today and tomorrow, so 2 days. Now, the monthly's pulled back. We did say with this monthly, it's either going to flip or it's going to close bullish, but then the next candle will do something like this, come down, and then if it wants to carry on, it'll carry on, or it might push up first, test the wick, and then flip to the downside. This is what I want to end up like. I want to end up like that because I want to start coming back down, but we might not. So I think what could happen with the new monthly, I don't think we're going to break the high. So I think if the monthly opens up and pushes up first, I can't see us breaking the highs because we've already broke the highs. I think we'll come and test the wick, so we could probably come to around that level, and then we'll start to flip to the downside to come. I don't believe we can close above this level unless we come and tap this level. Okay, so next month, basically, if price does push up in the first part of the month, we know our stops are going to be safe above that because we shouldn't be breaking the high really before coming back down. Okay, so if we're looking for sellers in and around these areas for this monthly to flip to come down, so it could be a really busy month next month. There's opportunities to grab quite a lot of pips, so that could be pretty good. But currently we're bullish on the weekly, but it's just how far this is going to come. What's it going to do today? And I've just realised we've actually got some big news today. So what day are we on? Yeah, we have unemployment claims, pen and home sales. So we've got some big news today, and also some news tomorrow. So could news really affect price today to make this monthly flip to the downside? Because it's not closed yet. For this monthly to flip, we would need some big candles pushing down to break the lows. Okay. But yeah, I could see that happening as well, depending on news. Right, now the weekly closed back. We actually had a breakout in the weekly, and then we've closed back into the range. Breakout, closed back into the range. Now, the only thing with a weekly, I would have preferred, there's one reason to come back up, and that's to tap previous support at 2394. Good morning, Mehdi, mate. Good to see you again. So, tap previous support, but we haven't done that. So there is a reason to come back up. Good morning, Lavo. There's a reason to come back up. But it's whether we're going to do that now. We've done a top wick, and it looks like we're flipping bearish, so we're coming to test the lows again. What would the reason be to come and test these lows? Well, it probably wouldn't be to come and tap and just flip back up. It's probably coming to tap and make a steeper bottom wick. That's probably what it's looking to do. Okay, so if it's going to make a steeper bottom wick, how far is it going to go to? Well, the next range for the weekly is here, but it's just whether it's going to get down to that with this one weekly candle. And then you've got to ask, well, can it get down to that? Has it got enough liquidity? How do we know if it's got enough liquidity? Did we break any highs? When we did, this broke the highs, plus you had a fake out, so that would have grabbed quite a lot of liquidity. You think if you fake out back into the range, where's all the money? Why did the fake out? Well, they would have grabbed loads of money above here, right? And then as we broke out, everyone will be putting their stops below here. So therefore, what do you think this weekly's going to do? Well, it's likely going to come and break these lows to grab this liquidity. But it might not happen on this weekly candle. It might be the next weekly. This is the thing. These are weekly candles. And you can get small bearish candles. I mean, look at these. These are small. Look at these. All small candles, but they're all weekly candles. So it's just a case of whether this weekly can push down in order to make the monthly flip to the downside. Because I believe the monthly flip is at 2285. So 22, yeah. So it's the wick. So we would need to break that for the monthly to close bearish. Okay. Good morning, guys. If you're on YouTube, I will be getting the Discord back up soon for the members to get on. So you'll hear people talking to me, and that'll be members. But unfortunately, I'm waiting for full fibre in. Good morning, Ella. I'm just saying, Ella, because you're a member now, aren't you? So, what normally happens is you can actually join me in Discord when I live trade, but my internet's not strong enough. But as soon as I get full fibre, that'll be going back to normal, where members can come into the Discord and actually talk to us while we're trading. It's much better because, you know, it's quite lonely traded. When we're sat here waiting for a candle to close and there's nothing in the chat and no one's talking, so it's nice to have someone on there. Okay, so the daily then, what's the daily doing? So let me get rid of the indicator. So this would be our range for buys. Like, we wouldn't be taking any buys above here because that's the range for the weekly to hit. And I probably won't be taking any sells below here because we could reject from here off the weekly. Okay, so the daily closed bearish. Now, what do we notice about this daily? This is what I wanted yesterday. Remember we said there was a range here on the daily, about there on the daily. And what we'd done is we broke out, and then what's happening is we've now had a fake out back to the downside. So why have we had that fake out? Why have we done that? Now, the only thing I'm cautious of here is we've got no top wick now. And I don't like that because it's a reason for price to come back up before either coming down or going back up. Also, what I don't like is the only place to go once you break above here is this level here, because we were looking at potential win back sells and we haven't tapped it. So what price can do to you is it can fake you out back into the range, but then it can fake you out back above. So if you got something like this on the daily, then you've had a fake out here back into the range, and you had a fake out back above. And what this would do, this is entices loads of sells. Now, also, we're thinking this could happen because we've now broke the low. So we have got liquidity to push back up. Another reason to push back up is the daily hasn't got much of a top wick. hasn't got much of a top wick. So what this is all telling me is this area here is telling me potential traps. Potential traps, that's what it's telling me. If this daily, it came and tapped this, if we had that, yeah, and if this daily, you wouldn't need much of a steep top wick at that point then. You could probably just sell down because you would have liquidity to come down. But if we got something like that, that would be perfect for us coming back down to break the lows. There's no reason to come back up then. Everyone's got a good top wick, and then it's a simple case of selling down. That would be perfect, but we haven't had it. So this is telling me traps, right? And we do have to be cautious because there's 2 days left of this month. Morning, John. There's 2 days left of this month. Now, if this daily had broke below this range, then yes, we could be looking at sells. All we would need is a top wick to then come and fill the range, because the next range is simply down, tapping 2-300, because we haven't tapped 2-300 yet. Okay, now we haven't done that, so we've closed respecting on the daily. Even if you go like that, even if you go like that, you're still closed respected. So what does that mean then? Well, that means we're technically now still in this range. And this is a no trade zone at the minute, because this daily could flip at any point to come back up. There's reasons to come back up. We've got no top wick and we haven't tapped that area of rejection. We've just created new range to come back down. So this is potential traps here. Loads of people be getting caught out here on the daily, in my opinion. Now, what would I want for sells then, or for buys? Well, I'd need to see some fake outs on the 4 and the 1. I've run out of latte milk, guys. That's no good. No good, that is it. Like a cup of tea. So I ideally would have wanted a daily close below that, and then it's fairly straightforward to come down. Now, what I have noticed, because it's been a weird week, we haven't had many trades this week, and last week was weird, I thought. It's not to say it still can come down. It can still come down, because the weekly has grabbed the liquidity to push past this. I do think there's enough liquidity from this weekly breaking of the highs to push all the way down. But when we close respecting like this, the next candle can just come straight through, because I found that sometimes gold goes through phases where it does that, and unfortunately I just can't get in on them. It just pushes straight through. So what would we want to see in and around this area? This area is key to what's going to be happening, which direction it's going to be going. Okay, but at the moment we're in a buy or sell area, because this daily can flip to the upside to give us a steeper top wick, plus come up for this top wick, or we can still drive to fill the range. Yeah. 4 hour. So what's the 4 hour looking like? So the 4 hours closed bearish. We've had a wick fill. We've got 2 hours left of this 4. This 4 looks like it's rejecting. Why is it rejecting? We've got a 4 here. Is that the 4 hour range though? So there's a 4 range. Would you say that's a 4 range? I would probably say we're looking at something like that. I think that would be better for a 4 range. We haven't actually broke the low. You've got a tap here. You're getting wicks to the area here. You've then got body of the candles there, body of the candles there, body of the candles here, body of the candles here. So I would say that's probably a range. And then you've got another range at 2326. Is that where we've wicked down to? Yeah, and then we've got another range here. So if you break below that on the 4, you tend to come down. However, you can just wick down. So we're looking something like this. So if you look at these 3 candles here, 3 bearish candles, big long wicks all the way down to these areas. Right, keep in mind that. and then if you look at ours, we've got 3, 4 bearish candles, all with decent sized wicks. You've had 2 taps of this area. So we need to see what happens next with that area. So what happens next? We come back up on the 4 and the 1. So could we look at something like this for wing back sells? We'll have a look at this area in a second. Could we look at this for wing back sells? Or if we're still respecting this area, could we look at this for wing back buys? You tend to come down here 3 times. I believe we've only been down twice. So could we maybe take a wing back buy from here if we come back down? Now, if we do come back down, it's probably not going to happen until the next 4 hour, which is in 2 hours time, so that's probably not going to be on. We'll have a look at a lower time frame. So this 4 hour, I would say it's key, but the next range is only small. It's only 2.2327, and then you've got to break below that. If you break below that, then you're coming down to this is a nice big range. You're probably coming down to 2307 areas here, because that'll be breaking the lows, the weekly. So we've actually had a pullback to this area. 3 down, so the 3 broke the lows. There's still 2 hours left of this 3. So this 3 could flip at any point, or we're going to get a fake out like this. What is this area here? Could we take a wing back sell from there off the 3 to reject? Back into the area, pull back. Back into the area off the 3. Leaves town. What's the 2 doing? The 3 didn't tell us below, because the 2 still respecting. Okay, that's interesting. So 2 respecting. Are we going to get a wick fit on this 2? There's still, so this is a fairly new 2 hour. It's given us a top wick. We haven't had much of a bottom wick. And the 2, I believe, has closed respecting to come back up. So what would I need to see? I would need to see there's nothing what looks similar with the 2. That's all I'm doing, guys. I'm looking for stuff what looks similar to our 2 now, what these are doing. The 1 got no top wick. Now, has this 1 closed back into the range, or has it closed respecting? You've grabbed liquidity, so we could drive up fairly easily. Could we come back up? Because what have we done? We broke this low and then we come right back across the range. Let's see all these ranges. So the 1, the next 1 range on the indicator, it's got there. But I don't like that, because the 1s can tend to just drive through. There is a wing back area at 2336, which we're fairly close to. If you look, all these ones what reject, 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 reject. So when you break this low, you come back up, you tap it, you reject to come back down. Could we take a sell there? We're not there yet. 15. I just don't like how we've broke these lows. We've broke these lows, we've grabbed liquidity, so we've actually got liquidity to come right through if it wants to. What would I need to see? The 1 is currently bullish, but we don't know if it's closed back into the range. Really what we should do is wait for the 4. The 1 does reject from here, but reject, and where does it come? See, we've had such a downtrend. Came from these levels. It didn't quite come from these levels, but we broke out. Came back, tapped 2337. Came back down to tap 2328. These didn't break out, but came up, tapped, rejected, tapped. Could we take that? What is this? That's only if the 30 pips. That's if we're saying the 4 is going to flip. 70 pips. That's all I've got. These are potential wing back sell guys, but I don't think I'm going to take it because this has grabbed quite a lot of liquidity. So it means this 4 could flip to the upside at any point. Right, and if this 4 does flip, it could easily drive. Easily. We could easily get a 4 like that. We could easily get a 4 like that. So I don't really want to take this wing back sell here. I would have if the 1 hour didn't close so close. If the 1 hour would close down here and then we got a pushing candle, potentially, yeah. But I mean, this might play out, this. But it's just too risky. The reach of it now. If anything, for me, wing back sells would be 2342. But if you get an hour close, you just need an hour close back above. Where do we need an hour close? If we get an hour close back above 2337, we simply buy up. Because that's the 4 flipping. We know the daily can flip. We know the daily can flip back to the upside for a steeper top wick. The 3, not the 3, sorry, the 2 looks the best. We could potentially get a sell stop on the 2 now in case you're going to get a wick fill. And if you are going to get that wick fill, you're likely going to come down to 3.2, but you're going to have to break the highs first. Because why didn't this one drive? Well, it means because this wasn't enough liquidity. So you'd have to break these highs to then get a sell stop underneath. Then you might not flip anywhere. But there's definitely enough liquidity now to drive back through the range. So it's a case of how the hell can we get in? It's going to be like yesterday where we watched the whole move play out. He's a 15-minute range. What happens if we get a 15 close above this? 15 close. Close above should push up to at least 2339. Could we take a 15? No pullback, just straight through. 15, you mess about. I don't think we're going to mess about. We've got quite a lot of volume. 15 pullback, so I would need a pullback if we got that 15 close above. Did we get that 15 close above? We did. So we're getting a pullback now. Is this going to flip to the upside? Which potentially it could. Let's need to check these ranges fast. You've got other ranges here. No, I don't like this. Really mess about here. Close above. 15 15 close above. You get too many fake outs here, guys. Look at these. 15 close above, fake out. Okay, so the 15's not going to work, so we can't take the 15. What's the 30? It might work, but the 30's next to close. Where's the 30 going to close? So if this 30 closes back above that, what happens to price? 30 close, pull back, or could we take a wing back buy off the 30? That would confirm the hour. The only thing I don't like about the hour, it hasn't got much of a bottom wick. I don't like this area either. We might have to wait it out. 30 close above, pull back, and then through. So does that mean if we don't come and tap 2338, pips, 30. It's in a bit of a messy area at the minute. 30 comes straight through. Okay, guys, we're gonna have to wait here. I think we're probably gonna have to wait for the hour. I think we're gonna need an hour close above this before we look at anything. That would then be, we've still got another hour, the 2, the 3, and the 4. Because what is this 4 going to do? It's going to be key what this 4 does really. If this 4 closes back into the range straight forward, we're coming up to tap at least 2, 3, 4, 6. There's nowhere else to go really apart from 2, 3, 4, 6. But if it does flip back to the downside, then we're likely going to close. Well, this is the thing with the 4. This is why I haven't got any sell stops on, because you could just close here or here. So it doesn't mean we're going to actually drive back down off the 4. We could, definitely could, but it doesn't have to. We got bearish close. These have all tapped the area. This is the advantage point, or this was the advantage point here. And obviously it tapped it early on this morning. So it's took away the advantage point. Now we've got to wait for this to see what direction this 4 is going to go in. We could get something like this. Straight up. So I am interested in wing back sells from 2, 3, 4, 6. But we've got to understand that that would be the daily flipping to the upside. And if that's the daily flipping to the upside, how steep is the daily going to be? Because if the daily comes up for a top wick, it means the top wick would be tapping this level at 2, 3, 4, 6. Right? You have got levels here, which it obviously is a zone where you could reject from. But if you look at like candles like this one, so this daily closed bearish, similar to ours. Look what the next daily done. Straight back up, straight through to break the highs. Yeah, so we could get something like that. So we could get caught out. What can we do with a drunken sailor? What can we do? 1 hour 30. I think we're gonna have to wait for this hour to close for potential setups. But at the minute we're in an area where we take buys or sells. We need to find the direction. Is this? Ooh. Is this just the top wick for the daily, a steeper top wick for the daily to flip back to the downside, or is this a bottom wick for the daily to flip to the upside? That's what we're trying to work out. We broke the high now. You have got a bearish 2 there, so it's whether that 2 is going to flip. If it does flip, see, it doesn't have to flip. This is the thing. If I mark these up here, it's in an awful area. That prices. You got rejection there. You did close back below. If you close below, where do you go? So close below, and you come through. But if you look at this area here, so you had a breakout, yeah, you had a bullish candle, then you had a bearish candle, and then look what the next two done. Up. Now I'll try and get that. No, I can't. Not gonna be able to see it. Alright, so remember that. You broke out, bullish, bearish, and then went to the moon. Okay? Ready? Breakout, bullish, bearish, goes to the moon. So are we going to get this? Are we going to get that? That's what we're saying. Is this what we're going to get? And if we are going to get that, do we have to do everything here? Has it done everything? Well, it has. It's broke the lows. It's grabbed liquidity. So now it's got liquidity to drive through. But how do we then get in? Well, we need either a break or we need a wing back. And we don't look like we pull back much. So I need to see something to show me where I can get in. We know the 15s can mess about here. The 15s can just do this before doing anything here. So the 15s are not really helping us. Where were the Marys at? Here. So look, we can just mess about here. So the 30, and then the 30 doesn't look any good, really. We just don't know where this 30 is going to close. If we close maybe like